So let's notice where we touch the ground, right? Take energy from that and lean on it. When all else fails, just balance yourself. Find whatever position we're in, relate it to the ground, and let the ground do the lifting. That's what it's there for. So notice it, being aware of it is, like G.I. Joe says, knowing is half the battle. Like just being aware of where we make contact with the earth moves us in that direction. The whole practice in here is just about watching this instead of that. And sometimes it seems like too small and too banal even to make a difference. But when it adds up, those cumulative effects of turning to the physical, turning to the real, turning to the body, turning inward instead of outward, those things add up and we come to know ourselves, and that makes us more powerful. So let's start by making some small adjustments with the upper body. We'll turn just our regular sitting into an easy pose. And what that means in general is that we let our spine support the upper body. So the first step, of course, is making the legs and hips happy and satisfied. And then we're going to make a little effort to push the lower back forward. Using the muscles along the lower spine, push forward. The marker in the front of the body is the belly button. Use your back muscles to push your belly button forward. And we don't want to push with our abdominal muscles, they stay loose. That's the reason that we're doing this, to let the spine do the work. Spine is just engaged, okay? And then we'll let the solar plexus lift. Just let it sit up. We don't have to strain. Let the sternum sit up in line with the solar plexus. And let's go ahead and take the shoulders up, and then we'll roll our shoulders back, pull the shoulder blades towards one another, and then when we release all that and set our hands down, let's set our hands down, palms up. And that just keeps our arms rotated. It keeps the shoulders set back there where we want them, or where we want them. And now the rest of it is just about balancing. As soon as we switch on that power in the lower back, then it's all about balancing the rib cage on the spine, about balancing the shoulders on the ribs, balancing the skull at the top of the shoulders. We learn to feel that line of that vector of gravity, and we come to love it, and we communicate with it, and we cooperate with it to create a posture. Any posture, not just sitting still, anytime, any movement we're making can be seen as a game with gravity, and it can be sharp and uncertain and angry movements, or it could be smooth and rounded and graceful movements. Those are our choice. And again, it just comes from watching, right? Learning and choosing how we want to move, how we want to interact with gravity. Okay, so the upper body is upright. It's not stiff or rigid, but we want to keep this straight line. So just notice how we're doing it. And we'll do our first forward fold from here. We'll use our hands and arms to just gently move the upper body forward. And we eventually want to set it down. Once we get the upper body out over the legs, we're looking for ways to release. And just let gravity tug the upper body down. We want to be finding it in the hips, and the glutes, and the lower back, and the upper legs. And if it feels like it's more in the lower back, lift the heart and lift the solar plexus. That's just the way. I'm always trying to find a balance in my forward folds. Just releasing is great when we're relaxing and resting. But sometimes mechanically, just releasing puts too much strain on our lower back. So when we feel that happening, when that feedback is coming from the lower back instead of the hips and legs, we just lift the heart a little bit. That's all we have to do. And then it immediately goes into the legs and hips. Okay, let's stay nice and low. We're going to use our hands and arms and do some sacrum spirals here, where our lower back plugs into our hips. Move from there. Take it nice and slow. Make full use of the hands and arms. And when I say move from the sacrum, what I mean is feel there on purpose. Put your close focus in our sense of touch there down in the sacrum, and move so that we're finding its borders. we're finding the limit to its movements. And it'll tell us because it feels heavy or sturdy or stuck, or, we stop. The movement in that direction stops. Tight, yes. But instead of fretting and thinking, oh God, I'll never be good at yoga, we think this is what we're here for. This is why we're here, is to feel that stopping point, but to make it dynamic and moving instead of just still and stuck. All right, let's go the other way. Awesome. Let's come on upright. And we'll turn our easy pose into hard pose, or staff pose. So we really feel this push immediately. Like this is where gravity wants us to go. Back and down with the upper body. And it's tempting to pull with the shoulders and get tight with the neck and jaw. But what we want is the same place, lower back. And it's hard work. It takes a lot of effort. But when we do it right, it saves us effort in the long run. Because we can let go of all that stuff in the upper body. And once we're aware of that press with the lower back, just keep it consistent. It stays switched on. But then we do the same thing. Let the solar plexus lift. Let the heart lift. Chin is level. Let's go ahead and turn our hands up again. And we can even pull our shoulder blades. This is my new favorite trick. Pull my shoulder blades back towards one another and then let them settle. Let them relax. Okay, from here, let's bend the left leg. Okay, right leg is straight. We're going to reach up to put space in the spine. Excuse me. And then fold forward from the hips. Lengthen out over the right leg. Feel exactly where it's the most potent or where it's the most active in the right leg. And send your sense of self there. Watch from there. Feel from there. And then just let the upper body be comfortable. We just want to find a resting point for the upper body so that we're getting that good, strong, but tolerable, stretchy feeling in the right leg. Okay, let's roll it up. And we'll undo the legs and redo with right cross. It can be inside the leg or over. For me, recently, this seems just more balanced and easier. So that's how I do it. But as long as our left leg is straight, we're doing it right. Okay? We're not going to put it there, but our goal is to aim the sternum at the left shin. And that keeps us, instead of just pulling our head down, which that's a good thing, it's a stretch for the back. But what we want is to stay tall. Send our sternum towards the left shin, and that puts it where we want it, in the back of the left leg. And once we have a good steady pull there, then we just settle in. Let the upper body be comfortable. Awesome. Let's roll it up. And then let's get both legs straight, but we'll go nice and wide. Take the work to the muscles inside the legs for a moment. Once again, upper body stays tall until we're forward and we found our stretch. Then we release. So let's use the hands and arms so we can move incrementally, angling it forward. Awesome. Okay, let's roll it up. And we'll go ahead and switch up our stance to tabletop. Okay, let's do a little side to side with the shoulders here. What I like to do is bend my left elbow to drop my left shoulder, and then straighten and do the other side. Just some shoulder, we'll call it shoulder dips. Left shoulder goes down, right shoulder goes down. Really helps make a little space in the middle back. Okay, good. Let's do some of our three-dimensional cat-cow. So we'll still meet those poles. The cat is when we're straight up. That means our head and our tailbone is down. The cow is when our upper body is at its lowest point, but the tailbone is high and the head, crown of the head is high. But we'll add the side-to-side motion. So if we start from cow, we're first going to go right, push out against that border, and then go up. And of course, when we're up, when our back is up, our head and tailbone are down, let's go left. Big, slow circles, and the intention is to feel it. A lot of times, feeling and pain and intensity and discomfort, they get a little muddy. So what we try to do here, we definitely don't want hurt. Anytime we pass into pain, change what we're doing. But we do want to feel it, because otherwise we're not making change. What we feel is our body telling us that it is being changed. And that's why we're here. All right, let's go the other way. Just take that circle the other direction. Awesome. Let's go ahead and try some child's pose. So we got the feet unflipped, and we're just going to sit back towards the heels and gently bring the head down. You can either make a hand pillow here, or the head can come all the way to the floor. This one is all about switching off, and because of the shape we're making, the back of the body is getting longer from the tailbone to the crown of the head, because our upper body is sort of curving over our legs. Just be aware of that. It's not like we're trying to stretch big. We can inhale big into the back. That always helps make space in our back. But in general, we're just trying to notice that expansion and notice what direction we're changing. All right. Nice and slow. Let's roll it back overnight. And we're going to take a little bit of lizard pose here. So what we want to do is to get the right foot somewhere outside of the right hand. Okay? And at this point, the back knee is still down. It can stay down for the duration. That's totally acceptable lizard pose. If you want to make it harder on yourself, just tuck the back toes and pick up the back knee. But all of these things can be done with that back knee still down. Okay? And this is another hip stretch. So what we're trying to do is to keep the support of the hands and feet and the knee, but release down and forward. Let the upper body pull to make space in the hips. We're just trying to sort of sink and let the body receive our weight in different ways. That's usually the whole goal of our yoga class, is just doing it differently, using the body in ways that it is capable of, but it's not used to. Okay, now we'll bend the elbows, right? Lower the upper body, same deal. If you find just the right place, as soon as you lower down, then please feel free to stay there. But you can also make it moving Awesome. Let's take that right knee back, and of course we'll get the left foot forward. Same deal here. Take a second to settle and come home and release. We can either keep that back knee down or we can pop it up. In any case, we're letting the hips release so that we're pushing into that left hip in particular. Okay, now we'll bend the elbows, lower the upper body, just leaning on the hip, seeing what we can find, seeing what's there. Okay, that's good. Let's lift ourselves back up, and we're going to go ahead and take the knee back. Let's go ahead and kick back to our backs for a few things. We'll do a little bit of hip work. And what we want to do is first get our right knee in towards us, and we're going to use both hands and just give it a gentle pull inward. We're not trying to break any new ground or break anything. We're just trying to ease ourselves again into those spaces where we can go, but we don't usually. Okay, now we're going to let go with the hands, but bring the right arm inside the right leg, and we want to get a grip on the ankle, or the shin, or the calf, or the heel, or the toes, whatever we can reach. Right? And if we need to sit up a little bit, that's fine, because once you have your grip, you can just lie right back down. And sometimes it's an even better grip if we sit up to meet it. Okay, same deal. Let's first keep the knee bent, but let's take the foot side to side. All right? Making space, seeing how this lands, in particular in the right hip, but also the right ankle and the knee, and the whole upper body is changed now. So just move that around and listen. Okay, now we'll start to take the foot straight up. Take your time. We don't ever have to have a straight knee. That's not our goal. Our goal is to find that lengthening sensation in the back of the right leg. So just take the knee until we can find that. And then just rest into it. Sometimes it feels real strongly. That just means we'll be extra chill when it's done. All right. Let's start to bend the knee again. And we can take the right leg back out straight. Let's get the left knee in. We'll give it a little hug in towards the upper body. Okay. Now we'll let go with the hands. We'll get a new grip on the left ankle or the toes or the heel. Sit up if you'd like a different angle on the foot. But anyway, once we have the grip, bring the head and shoulders back. Make sure the upper body is stable, that the earth is holding us, not our muscles. Okay, same deal. Let's first go side to side. Good knee bend, and we just want to move it around in the hip, just like we sometimes move it around with the knee. Our focus is in the hip socket, the inside of the hip. Okay, now we'll start to take the knee straight. And again, straight knee is a direction. It's not a goal. We just go in the direction of straightening our knee until we get just the right amount of length happening in the left leg, and then we just hold on to it, soften around it, like physically accept the pose. I mean, we're already here. We might as well want to be here. Okay, good. Let's let that go. And we'll take both legs out straight. We're going to get our arms down by our sides now, palms down. And that place in the lower back, the same place where we're usually pushing forward, we want to use the abdominal muscles to push down. Use the belly to lock the lumbar curve into the floor, right? That's just a way of bringing stability to the core. What we're trying to do is to use those muscles on purpose. Engage the muscles of the front body on purpose. So it's continuous. We don't just test it and then stop. We're pushing down gently the whole time. It's not super hard, just something to remember to do. Okay, now extend through the crown of the head, and we're just going to lift the head and shoulders and keep breathing. Keep getting taller through the crown of the head. Keep the back pressing down. All right. Let's lower the shoulders and the head back to the ground and just relax. Okay, let's interlace the fingers right in front of us, elbows straight, and then we're going to flip the palms and bring the arms up above our head, right? On the inhale, we're pushing away. We're using that length of the shoulders to lengthen the whole upper body. And on the exhale, make sure the shoulders are back, seeking each other across the spine, and pull down. Exhale pushes down, and the inhale pushes up. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and step in with both feet. Right ankle crosses over the left knee. And then shoulders stay home, but we're just going to gently lower that right foot to the left side. And we're trying to find this outside the right hip and up into the right upper body. So like I said, I do this when I lie down to go to sleep, and whenever I'm lying down, but pretty much. But as I was doing it last night, it became really, I found a lot of new stuff. Like I was like changing, and it mostly had to do with the angle of my left leg, the bottom of the left leg. But just sometimes poses are more available than others. Sometimes I'm like, oh wow, this is killer. But sometimes it doesn't feel like much. But it's still good to check everything out, check in. All right, let's come back up to center. And now we'll bring the left knee in towards us. We're going to get a grip over the left knee and then gently pull in. We're trying to find that in the right hip and just keep it up. All right, let's let that go. We'll cross the right knee over the left. And then lower to the right side. Left shoulder is our anchor. All right, let's come back up to center. And we're going to undo. This time we get the left ankle on the right knee. Shoulders stay home. We're going to pivot at the hips to bring the left foot down to the right side. Okay, notice what that feels like. If we want to give a little push away with the right hand, maybe we can find extra. Okay? Let's come on back up so the right foot's on the floor. Now we're going to pick up the right foot, pull in with the knee, and get our knee grip on the right knee. Notice how the left hip feels about that. And if it's not much, just give a gentle pull. Okay, let's let that knee go. Right foot comes down. Left knee just settles over the right. And this time our right shoulder is our anchor and our base. We're just going to lower the knees to the left. Awesome. Let's come on back up to center. And this time we'll undo the knees. Let's just get both legs going out straight. Okay, we'll set up for a little bit of fish pose. So that means arms down by our sides. We're going to tuck our arms back behind us. Okay? Sitting on your hands. Elbows squeeze close into each other. See how close you can get your elbows, because that becomes our base. And when we get our elbows closed, we're already stretching the chest. And that's the whole goal here. Even if we don't prop up, just getting the elbows tucked behind us is a good stretch for the front of the body. Okay, now let's lift our head. That's going to keep our neck comfortable. And then we're going to do this sort of sit-up move so that we bring the upper body to rest on the elbows. Okay? Notice if you feel balanced and stable. Like I notice I need to go further. I need to send my weight further down towards my hip because I felt like I was going to tip over that way. So just notice those kind of things and make it feel stable and strong, because that way when we really start stretching, it's more full. We get more out of it. Okay, solar plexus is our goal here, and we're just going to start to lift. Okay, lift it towards the sky. And it's just steady and consistent, right? Just keeps on lifting. All right, let's start with our head. And we're going to bring it up until we can look down with our toes. Again, that's just to keep the angle of our neck happy. And then use the hands and arms, and we'll just ease ourselves up into a seat. We want to feel like we're chill and comfortable, and we can stay here for a good long while. It'll only be 5 minutes, but we want to be prepared to sit longer, because it adds up quickly. Stillness is not as easy as you would think. Stillness is not doing nothing. You know, being still is much harder than not doing anything. So we go for that. We get our body ready to be still. And then we're going to zero in on our chosen focus, right? And that could be anything. It's the flame today because it's attractive, it's beautiful in itself. So when we notice, for me, the practice here is my attention starts going back into here. Nothing productive, well, sometimes it's productive, but lists and conversations and things I need to do and self-hatred and all those things that our mind does, a part of it maybe is productive and useful, 98% probably not. So we're not going to miss anything. If anything goes in here, it's going to come back up. If there's anything that we skip to come back to the flame, we'll guarantee come back to it. So that's what we want to do when we feel that. I even feel it as my focus starts to blur. Like I'm focused sharp, and one way I can tell that I'm with my thoughts is that this becomes not as clear or it's just not as sharp, right? And that's when I know to focus up again, because then I'll start going back inward to my thoughts and I go again. And as many times as it takes, right? We're going to be here for 5 minutes, so that movement back out is not a sign of a failure, it's a sign of a practice. All right, and we'll just take 5 minutes here. finger movements just to get us ready to move again. The best of me bows to the best of you. Namaste.